A parent asks a simple question, something straightforward. Did you finish your classwork? Did you take your lunch? Did something happen at school today? And the child looks them directly in the eye, holds their gaze without flinching, and says something that is simply not true. Not a small omission, not a stretched version of events, a flat out, deliberate, looking them in the face lie. And the parent knows. They know immediately, either because the evidence is already in front of them or because they know their child well enough to read the tells. The almost too steady eye contact, the answer that comes a beat too quickly, the story that has one too many specific details. And in the space of about 2 seconds, the parent has to decide what to do with the fact that their child just lied to their face. This video is about exactly those 2 seconds, and everything that should come after them, because how a parent responds to a direct lie from their child shapes far more than just that one moment. It shapes whether the child will lie more in the future, whether they will feel safe telling the truth, and whether the relationship between parent and child becomes one built on honesty or one built on better and better deception. Before getting to the exact words, it is worth spending a moment on why children lie directly to a parent's face, because it is more layered than most parents assume in the moment. The most obvious reason is consequence avoidance. The child did something they know was wrong. They know punishment follows, and the lie is an attempt to escape that sequence. This is the most common type and the least complicated to understand. But there is a second reason that is less obvious and far more important for a parent to recognize. Some children lie to a parent's face not because they are fundamentally dishonest, but because honesty has felt too costly in the past. If previous confessions were met with explosive reactions, extended punishments, or a parent who brought up the same mistake for weeks afterward, the child has learned, through direct experience, that telling the truth to this particular person is a bad strategy. The lie is not a character flaw. It is a rational adaptation to an environment where honesty is punished more harshly than the original misdeed. There is a third reason, especially in older, school-aged children and preteens, which is autonomy protection. As children develop a stronger sense of their own inner world, they begin to experience parental questioning as intrusion. The lie is not about the specific thing they are lying about. It's about preserving a private self that the parent does not have access to. This type of lying tends to increase sharply as children approach adolescence and is one of the most misread forms of dishonesty in family dynamics. Knowing which type of lying is happening does not excuse it, but it completely changes what the most effective response looks like. Here's what most parents do in the moment they catch a direct lie, and why each response tends to backfire. The first is immediate confrontation. That is not true. I know you're lying. Tell me the truth right now. This feels like the right move because it is honest and direct, but it corners the child instantly. A cornered child does not suddenly become more honest. They dig into the lie harder, add details, or shut down completely. The parent ends up in an argument about the lie rather than a conversation about what actually happened. The second response is the disappointment speech. I can't believe you would look me in the eye and lie to me. Do you know how much that hurts? Again, real feelings are behind this response, but leading with the parent's hurt hands the child a problem they cannot solve. They cannot unhurt the parent, and the weight of that guilt often pushes the child toward more dishonesty rather than less, because the truth now carries an emotional cost they are not equipped to manage. There is a third response, which is to let it go in the moment, but bring it up repeatedly afterward, referencing the lie in future conversations, using it as evidence in later disagreements. You lied to me about this before, so how am I supposed to trust anything you say? This poisons the well. It makes every future interaction carry the weight of the past lie, which teaches the child that confessing is never really over. It becomes permanent ammunition, so they stop confessing. Here's what to say instead. In the moment the parent knows the child has lied, pause before responding. Take a visible breath and say this calmly. I want to give you a chance to try that answer again. Take a second if you need it. This phrase does something remarkable. It signals to the child that the parent already knows, without saying so explicitly. It gives the child a dignified exit from the lie without requiring them to be dramatically exposed. And it introduces something rare and powerful into the dynamic, the offer of a second chance before consequences arrive. Most children, when given this specific invitation, will course correct. Not all of them, and not immediately, but the offer itself changes the emotional temperature of the room from confrontation to something closer to collaboration. If the child takes the invitation and tells the truth, the next words matter enormously. Say, "Thank you for telling me the truth just now. That took something. We still need to talk about what actually happened, but the fact that you came clean matters to me. That counts." This response doesn't skip accountability. It acknowledges that there is still a real conversation to have about the original behavior, but it separates the honesty from the misdeed. It rewards the truth-telling specifically, which is the behavior the parent most wants to reinforce. A child who learns that honesty is recognized and valued, even when the underlying behavior is still going to have consequences, is a child who begins to see truth-telling as worth it. If the child holds the lie even after being offered a second chance, the approach shifts. Do not escalate. Do not get louder. Say quietly and with absolute steadiness, "I already know what happened. I'm not asking because I don't know. I'm asking because I want to hear it from you. You can tell me now, or we can sit here until you're ready. Either way, I'm not going anywhere." That phrase, "I'm not going anywhere," is load-bearing. It removes the child's hope that the situation will dissolve if they just hold out long enough. It also removes the threat of abandonment. The parent is not furious and walking away. They are present, steady, and waiting. That combination of immovability and calm is the most effective posture a parent can hold in this moment. Children almost always break from a lie when they realize the parent is neither explosive nor escapable. Once the truth has come out, however it arrives, there's a conversation that needs to happen. Not a lecture, a conversation. And it starts with a question rather than a statement. What made it feel easier to lie than just to tell me? This question is important because it is genuinely curious rather than accusatory, and the answer to it is almost always more useful than any punishment the parent could assign. If the child says, "Because you knew you'd freak out," that's information. If they say, "Because I didn't want to disappoint you," that's information. If they say, "I don't know," that's also information, and the parent can gently offer some options. Was it because you were scared of what would happen, or because you didn't think I'd understand? Whatever the child reveals, respond first with acknowledgement before anything else. That makes sense. I get why that felt safer. And then, once the child feels heard, here's what I need you to know. I can handle the truth, even when the truth is something I don't love hearing. What I can't handle as easily is not knowing what's real, because when you lie to me, I lose my ability to actually help you, and helping you is the whole point. That last sentence, "helping you is the whole point," reframes the entire dynamic. It repositions the parent not as the authority figure who must be feared and deceived, but as the person whose entire function is to be on the child's side. Children who genuinely believe their parent is on their side lie less, not because they are afraid of consequences, but because they no longer need to protect themselves from the person they trust. There's a longer-term practice worth building after any significant lying incident. At a calm moment, a day or two later, not in the heat of the aftermath, say to the child, "I've been thinking about how we can make it easier for you to tell me things, even hard things. What would help? Is there something about how I react that makes it harder to be honest with me?" This question requires courage from a parent, because the answer might be uncomfortable. The child might say that the parent overreacts, or brings things up too long after the fact, or makes them feel ashamed rather than supported. If that is what they say, the parent's job is to sit with it rather than defend against it, because a parent who can hear that feedback and change their behavior is a parent who will receive more honesty over time. That's the trade, and it is absolutely worth making. Children don't become honest because they are caught and punished. They become honest because they have experienced enough times that telling the truth to their parent did not destroy them, that the truth was received, processed, and moved through, that the relationship survived it, that the parent on the other side was someone they could trust with the real version of things. Build that track record one honest conversation at a time. It takes longer than a punishment. It lasts far longer too. Say it calmly the next time a lie sits between you. I want to give you a chance to try that answer again. That sentence is the beginning of a household where honesty feels possible. If this video helped, please hit the like button. It helps more parents find this channel when they need it most. And subscribe for more videos just like this one. Now here's today's comment question, and this one is a good one. Think back when you were a kid. What made you lie to your parents? Was it fear of their reaction or something else entirely? Drop it honestly in the comments below. Parents reading this thread will learn more from your real answers than almost anything else, and it might just change how they respond the next time their own child is standing in front of them with a story that doesn't quite add up.